round 5 of the tournament. If you saw the previous games, this tournament is not going crazy well. So if I want to end up with a decent tournament, with a decent score, I need to win this game. So this time I'm playing against the 1600 as black. Let's see what happened. My opponent plays e4. And I am a French player, so obviously I decided to reply with e6. Now, if you saw the third game, I played the French and I wasn't prepared on a certain line. And I knew that. I knew that even before the tournament started, I didn't know a certain line of the French. But I didn't have time to prepare, so I didn't want to play a really complicated position without knowing theory. So I accepted this risk, because there is no way we are going to play the same line 2 times, right? So e6, d4, d5, knight c3, the classical French. He could have played, for example, this, he could have taken, he could have played this, he could have played this, he could have played this, he could have played a ton of stuff, but no, the classical French, knight f6, and then not prepared on bishop on g5, and the main move is e5, bishop on g5, exactly the same position I got in game 3. So I'm not really prepared on this. Let's see what happened. I decided to take, knight take, and now the main move will be bishop e7, but as I said, if I play this and you take with the bishop, the main move is pawn take, otherwise you get destroyed. But as you can see, it is complicated, and in classical, if you're not prepared, I wouldn't suggest to play such a complicated position. So instead of going for this move, I played what I used to play. The problem with this is that white gets a really good attacking position. I hate it, absolutely hate it. So in the next tournament, I'm going to play pawn take. I mean bishop e7 and pawn take. This time I decided to go for this because I was used to this position. So I thought it was better, even though I don't like this. So knight d7, if you take, I can take with the knight in this case. Knight on f3, the same exact position as the game 3. Bishop e7, and in game 3 my opponent decided to take with the bishop, thinking I had to take with the pawn, but in reality you can just take with the knight. But in this case, the opponent decided to take with the knight, which is the main move, and now you can take with the knight or with the bishop usually. You could even take with the pawn, but doesn't make any sense at this point, otherwise I would have just played bishop e7. So, if you take with the knight, there is the problem that the knight becomes a target, because if I move the bishop, the knight is pinned, this bishop is pretty annoying, and my opponent still gets pretty good attacking position. So, in my experience, I saw that taking with the bishop was much better, because in this case, there isn't a knight to be pinned, because I mean, there is a bishop on f6, and also you have to waste the time moving this bishop, and if you take, I'm going to take with the queen and have a better position. So what can you do now? My opponent replied with h4. And I tell you something, white still gets an incredible attacking position anyway, and once again, that's why I don't like this line, but I had to play this. h4 is the main move. I wasn't really prepared on this, to be honest, because I haven't faced such an idea many times, probably, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure I got to this position, but maybe a couple of times. So I was thinking about what to do. Now, if you castle, I don't know, man, looks pretty scary. I castle, g4 comes, I get absolutely demolished. Stockfish might defend. If I castle, I lose, as simple as that. So I was like, I'm going to play h6. If you take, it doesn't even make sense. I take with the queen, and I mean, I just have a strong piece developed. And I'm fine, so you probably have to play something like bishop on f4. The fact is that you can take the queen, it is the best move and the main move. And after I take with the queen, the problem is that this position is still terrible. I mean, it's only plus 0.3. If you're Stockfish, if you're a human, this is close to be losing. I'm not kidding. Because this is impossible to defend. Let's say you play queen d2, which is the move my opponent played. Okay, you do at this point, you probably had to castle. If you don't castle, you just castle long and still destroy you, you open the position and everything. So I decided to castle, and after you castle long, you have a problem. Now I should play e5. I thought about e5, and I didn't like it, because let's say I play e5. Take, it's good that I open this diagonal, but after the knight take, and I take with the queen, You just move the bishop and you're threatening this. You still have a really good attacking position. And at least that's what I thought. Apparently you can just play bishop e6. Let's say they attack you. Queen f6 and you're supposed to be fine. It's not easy to evaluate a position like this. Looks really scary to me. So instead of playing this, instead of playing e5, I was like, alright, I'm just going to play rook on d8. Now, I didn't like rook on d8 too much, but let's say, and first of all, you cannot play g4 now. Let's say you develop the bishop somewhere. I at least have this idea, c5 and move the knight. But I'm gonna be honest, after I played this, I was like, if he plays bishop on e2, I lost. I lost. Objectively speaking, I lost. I play b6, for example, the best move. g4. Defend this. Defend this. Plus 0.6. Yes. Defend this. Pawn comes and what? You pray? What are you supposed to do? The knight come, bishop come, everything come. Look there, I can't attack in time, there is no way. This is undefendable. I played similar position a lot of time. This is undefendable. No way. So, I got kinda lucky, in fact, that my opponent didn't play that move. He played bishop, queen on e3, and you could still go for g4 now, because the queen defends the knight, so I still pretty much fucked. What can I do now? I decided to play b6. b6 made sense in my mind. If you go for this, there is bishop b7, targeting the knight, it's not a crazy move, you can still defend and destroy me, although makes a bit of a sense. But my opponent, in this position, played queen on e4. And suddenly I'm better. Suddenly I'm better because, first of all, the rook is under attack, I have to move it. He played a really logical move, a really human move. That you play if you don't understand, I mean, if you're not used to a position like this, if you don't know theory. Bishop d3. Bishop d3 just makes a ton of sense. You're getting in, I lose. If you get in, I lose. So, how can I prevent it? It's simple. I just don't. I just don't. I played bishop b7. And I'll tell you why. Because if you give this check, now I'm much better. I don't lose. I'm probably close to winning now. Because you put your queen in jail. You spontaneously decided to put your queen in jail. The queen right now doesn't have a ton of square, well, can't pretty much go anywhere. You play this, I just move, queen moves and the figure. So I'm pretty close to trap your queen. Now you have to do something about it. And apparently the move is bishop on e2. You just get away. So this is the point. I played king on f8, and now my opponent played bishop on b5. Bishop on b5 loses the game, because you can in fact trap the queen. At this point there is a crazy continuation that I saw, but I thought it wasn't winning for me. So the idea is that if I play queen on f4 check, let's say you move the king, I play bishop e4, queen check, king move, I lose the pawn. What is the point? Your queen is in jail. After I give you this check, this pawn is defended, the bishop covers this square, this pawn is defended, defended by the knight, really important, and the rook covers all of the g file. The queen is trapped. This is crazy, absolutely crazy, and that's why giving a check with the queen was a bad move. But instead of playing king on b1, you could play something else. For example, in this position, you could play knight on d2. What is the point? The point is that now I can't play this. And I was like, okay, I could attack the queen with the knight, and it is the same thing. It's not. Because the difference now is that you can play queen d3. The queen runs away. And I wasn't sure I was better in a position like this. I think because I missed this. Yeah, I think because from the distance I didn't see this. Yeah, it makes sense. I was like, okay, the queen now is on the 3 and everything. What can I do now? He's still coming, he's still playing g4 and everything. I just missed this. And also I thought I had a more forcing continuation, because after you play this, I was like, What if I manage to bring your bishop, let's say, on this square, and I can go for this once again. So let me go, okay. On this square, and I can go for this continuation. Let's say, because in this case, let's say the bishop is on d3, knight on f6 works. The queen is not going anywhere. Let's say you go on the square, I can attack your bishop, and I think it is more forcing. The problem is that after I attack your bishop, you don't have to go back on a4. You could just go back on e2. I'm still better, but it's not that simple now. My opponent played bishop on a4, and now finally worked, because I saw that at this point, after I play b5, the bishop move, I have the incredible c5. My opponent was pretty surprised by this move. Like, looks like it doesn't make any sense. I'm probably on the verge of getting mated. Let's say you play this, you push the pawn, probably get destroyed. This move makes a ton of sense, because I'm threatening to trap the bishop. And if you play this, you lose the game. What you should play in this position is d5. And I was kinda scared about d5, but I thought I was winning, which is true. You have queen on f4. And by the way, you have queen on f4 because let's say you trap the bishop now, you actually get mated. Funny, isn't it? Crazy funny. So, you can play queen on f4, king move, and now you play c4, because in case they give a check and they go for this, you can just play king on f6, and you are defended. Instead of playing that, I managed to force the move c3. And this position is completely lost, not because of, I mean, it is also because of c4, but because we have a more forcing move, I would say. Still queen on f4. If you block with the rook, which is the move my opponent played, there is bishop on e4. And I think my opponent missed this whole idea, because I played this move and he was kinda shocked. I think my idea was to take the knight and take the pawn, but that just opened the position for him. Now the fact is that your queen is lost now, because you play this, take, and the rook taps it. Really, really cool continuation. So, queen h8 is the best move, but he played another move, a really bad one. He played g3, and I just took the knight, and he resigned. Queen is still trapped, rook is lost. I mean, to be honest, the queen is not trapped now. Could take this. Now if I play this, you take this one. Although, I mean, it doesn't look the best position ever. You lost, what? One knight and one rook? You don't have that much compensation, I would say. This is -7, it makes sense. And going back, let's say you block with the knight instead. That would have been much better. I still would have had the move knight on f6, attacking the queen, to give a check, still the same stuff. And let's say you go back, I don't know, you go on this square. In this case, I can just take and you get pretty much destroyed. You still lose the queen if you move the rook, because the knight is pinned. So let's say you played this instead. I don't think anything really changed. I could even play this, and well, as you can see, this is absolutely over. So what can I say about this game? I didn't play a bad game, to be honest. The fact is that if my opponent played the right moves that weren't hard to play, are really simple aggressive moves, I guess he didn't play them because he wasn't really sure about the position. But if he played g4, like if he decided to go for g4 at any moment pretty much, where the knight wasn't hanging, I would have lost, I would get destroyed. So definitely I need to improve on the theory overall, and I'm studying theory, so hopefully in the next tournament I'm going to play better. I end the tournament with 3.5 points out of 5. These are the standings. I'm third at the same point with the second, but he beat me, so he just won the I don't know how it's called, the matchup or something like that. And I joined this tournament, trying to gain some points, and end up gaining 0 points. I'm still 1748, nothing changed. So yeah, maybe in the next tournament something is going to change, and maybe in positive. So that's it for today, guys, and see you soon with the next video.